Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome, guys. In this video, I'm going to be showing you a contradiction between Sheikh Ibn Taymiyah and the modern Salafi scholars in Aqidah, and it's related to the issue of time. Okay, so I'm going to be showing you how they totally disagree with each other. Okay, absolutely disagree with each other, and it's significant because it seems to be that Sheikh Ibn Taymiyah he admits that this is the entailment of the kind of thing that he was saying about time and space and all those things. He knows that this is what he has to say on the argument level. Now, the modern Salafi scholars, it's either they are trying to be consistent with the text or they don't really understand Sheikh Ibn Taymiyyah's argument, so they are not able to follow him down that route. Because if their entire Aqidah, they always quote you, Sheikh Ibn Taymiyyah, Sheikh Ibn Taymiyyah. If you don't understand how he came to some of his conclusions, why are you following him? Because this is this is the entailment of his position. Let me just show you something real quick from someone that is still a Taymiyyan Salafi. Okay, look at what it says here. In one of the comments I had, interaction I had with him a year ago or so. See what he said. The entailment of Ibn Taymiyyah's position is indeed that there was no first creation. Every creation must have been preceded by another creation in an infinite regress of material conditions. See, Salafis, you guys, I know you might not understand philosophy or something like that, but the Taymiyyan Salafis know, they know what they're talking about. You guys might not know what you're talking about. They do. So now, let me just show you real quick, what is the real issue? The issue is about this term, the idea of first creation. Every Muslim knows that awla man khalaq Allah, or something like that, hadith that talks about this, right? And if you read Salafi commentary on this, they will tell you that there's a debate about what is the first creation. Is it the throne? Is it the water? Is it the pen? There's an entire debate about this. You see this debate? Sheikh Ibn Taymiyyah, you already see what the Taymiyyan Salafi just said there. He doesn't believe there's an actual first creation by his own argument, and it follows from his argument actually. So it's true. The thing is, the modern Salafis, look at this commentary. See, the majority of the scholars are of the view that the throne was the first thing to be created. See, they are literally affirming that there's the idea of a first creation. And I will show you how this is problematic for their view. Okay, so the first thing that was created is of things that are known to us was the throne. You see, okay, maybe this is their gateway known to us. Maybe they'll say, yeah, maybe God created other things that are not known to us. Yeah, right. I'll now show you their position. Maybe that's the way they will reconcile themselves with him. But on the first level, if you affirm the idea of a first creation, this is what it leads to. So the idea of a first creation. Now, how is this related to their view of time and everything like that? So and by the way, you see that channel I just showed you here? This channel, this guy, it literally defends the idea that God creates from some material. So every creation must have been created from another thing. So if God wants to create one thing, he has to create it from something else. So God cannot create from nothing. So ex-materia, ex-nihilo. We will believe God can create something without any material present, not from anything. God can bring something into existence there wasn't anything prior. They don't believe that. And it defends this as the Ibn Taymiyyah's position that something must have been created from another thing. And if you ask, where is this one created from? It must have been created from another thing too. Where is this? So the argument about is it the throne? Is it the water? Or is it the pen? If you say the throne is the first creation, what was it created from? It must have been created from another material that we don't know. What was the water created from? It must have been created from another material. Even though we were not told that they were created from anything. They are assuming that you must have been created from another thing, and the pen too must have been created from some other material. Something cannot be created without any absolute material prior. This is their position, the Taymiyyan Salafis. But you have these Salafis here saying that there was actually a first creation. In fact, I think I've read it somewhere where Sheikh Ibn Baz, he pointed out that he disagrees with Ibn Taymiyyah on the idea that there was no first creation. He says he disagrees with this. Okay, so that's one. See, this is another position that he said the throne is created. It did not exist, then it existed, and it is the created greatest of all created things. Look at this. It did not exist and then it existed. That's ex-nihilo. This is ex-nihilo. This is not the Ibn Taymiyah's position. This is not his position. Okay, I know they can find a way to reconcile themselves with him by saying it did not exist, in meaning the material that it was created from, it didn't, well, let's say this is one material here. Then the throne was formed out of it. So it didn't exist, then it exists. Maybe that's what they will say. But the idea that it was created just like that God just says be and it is, it must have been created from another material. That's the Taymiyah Salafi position. If you disagree with him, come out and say it, because it's a very radical doctrine. If you don't know, most theists, believers in God, they believe that God can create without any material prior. Because where is this material that you're talking about? Where is it from? So it will lead to a problem. Like, let's say this is one, and you say it was created from another one, and you say it will lead to an infinite regress. You see, of materials. The atheist philosophers of the old period, them, they believe there was God, and then there was another material. This is like prime matter or something. This prime matter is not God that created it, but God can use it to form something. You see? So God exists, and this material exists on its own. This God exists on its own. Prime matter, that is unformed matter, it exists on its own. So God then forms it like someone playing, like using clay to mold something. So he molded something out of the material that was already existing on its own, independent. You see? That is the position. But your own ex-material type is similar to the atheist, because there's this material that God must use to create one thing before another one, and then infinitely to the past. You see, this is problematic for you. Anyway, so you see, like on the surface level at least, these Salafis scholars, they are saying that there was an actual first creation. Now, I'll show you some problems with an actual first creation for your position. So if you believe that there was an actual first creation, so let's say this is us now, that if you go back in the past, this was the first creation. If you believe this, the question that is always posed is that if you believe God is temporal, it would mean that what was God doing before this first creation, or whatever possible creation it is? There has to be a first one, unless you already agree with Sheikh Ibn Taymiyah that there was not actually first creation. You see, you can do that, which is the Taymiyah Salafis. This is what they do. But if you want to say no, there was actually a first creation, and you still believe that God is temporal, that somehow God decided, let me create the first creation. Now, the problem is that, was God waiting? God cannot wait infinitely. Like, let's say God, if this is infinite, there can never be a first creation. So this means that it has to be finite. So it will mean that even God had a beginning. Do you understand? If the period before creating, it takes this amount of time that God is in his temporal existence before he actually decided to create, it will mean that this period of time is finite. It cannot be infinite, because if it is infinite, you can never reach here. You can never reach here. So it has to be finite. And if it is finite, we can go to the beginning of it too, and it will have a beginning. Do you see why the idea of the first creation destroy your temporal notion? Because it will lead that God has a beginning. Okay? Which is irreligious, isn't it? To say that God has a beginning is irreligious, right? So you are going to be forced to deny temporality for God. And that's what the Asharis and many other theists, they do. Because this idea of first creation, that creation is not infinite to the past. Like, normal theists don't actually believe this, that creation, anything created, can be infinite to the past. Like, no, we don't. There has to be the first creation, so that it will be distinct from God that is eternal, that didn't begin. Okay? So this is the problem with your position. And you can also see many other, like this ex-material thing. That is what the Taymiyah Salafi position leads to. Ex-material, which is similar to the atheists of old. The idea of an infinite past, which is problematic. If you want to, you cannot reconcile it with this, with the idea of a first creation. So you have to deny the idea of a first creation. That's what consistent to be consistent. Sheikh Ibn Taymiyyah, he did that. But you guys don't understand why he did that. Is rooted in his entire metaphysics or whatever philosophy that he has to believe in an infinite past, in the idea that every material must have been created from another material, infinite to the past. So this is what his position is entailed, such that the Asharis are actually, well, you guys always say Quran and Sunnah, Quran and Sunnah. The Asharis can actually use this hadith that is clear, that you actually agree with on the surface level, and show you that you are actually the ones that are bringing in funny stuff. See, you say summary or answer. The first thing that Allah created of all things that are known to us, I think this is the part where they are hiding what they are doing, that are known to us, was his throne, which he rules over. See, maybe this that are known to us, they are saying, see, let's say these are the things that are known to us. The first thing of them is let's say the throne, okay? This is the first thing that we know that are known to us. We will say the first thing, okay, we don't even need to do that, by the way. Okay, no problem. So if this is the first thing that are known to us, maybe they are saying it's possible that there were other things that God created before that. So they will use it to show that God has been creating for eternity. God has always been creating some things. Now, what is the status of these things that God is creating? They will say, that means the throne was made out of a prior material. That's what you have to say if you want to be consistent. The throne has to be made from another prior material, which you didn't get that from the text. It's not in the text that the throne was made from another material. Even water, see, water, pen, and the throne, they are not clearly stated where they are created from. God created them. He didn't tell you he created it from another material. You are asserting that. You are asserting that because of your position. And that is the problem with this. So you are not consistent with the text. The Asharis are actually consistent with the text. You are the philosopher here. They are the one doing this some funny metaphysics that you are bringing in. So what do you guys say about this? Do you see the problem? I think maybe the Salafis, with this clause that they added to it, that are known to us, maybe that's how they can reconcile themselves with Ibn Taymiyah. But on the surface level, they believe that there was an actual first creation. And Sheikh Ibn Baz, like I said, I don't have that quote. I think in one of his writings, he actually rejected Ibn Taymiyah's position on this. Like he said there has to be a first creation because the hadith is too many. Anyway, that's the end of the video. I just wanted to see what you guys think about this. See you guys later. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.